Today we are going to discuss entity relationship model. Okay, so what is entity, what is the relationship, what is the relationship that exists between those entities, that and all we are going to discuss now. So what is an entity? Entity is a object. For example, take uh, pen as an example. If you take that pen as an object, so what could be their attributes? The color of the pen, the sharpness of the nib, the price of the pen. So these and all can be said as an attributes of a particular object, pen. Okay, like that. For example, take student. The student is an entity, that is an object. Okay, so if you take student as an entity, what could be their attributes? A student can be identified with their ID, name, address, CGPA, etc. So these are the attributes of a particular entity, student. Okay, student is an entity. It holds the attributes of ID, name, address, CGPA, the place where they belong, etc. So this can be said as an example. Okay, what about this college? This college, you take it as an example of entity because entities are represented as within a rectangle. Okay, so take college as an entity, and what could be the attributes they hold? College as a particular ID and name, the college departments. Okay, so these are the attributes of a particular entity called college. So what is the relationship that exists between those entities, that is the student entity and the college entity? Means the student studying in this college, so that is the relationship between student entity and college entity, right? So the relationship will be given in a diamond shape. So diamond shape means relationship. Okay, rectangle means entity, oval, ellipse means the attributes that a particular entity holds. Okay, so this is what I told you. For every shape you have separate meaning, right? For rectangle means it represents entity, and ellipse means attributes, that is the oval shape that I told you. Diamonds means relationship. The lines means the line that connect between the relationship and the entity. Double ellipse means multi-valued attributes, that and all we'll discuss in the upcoming classes. So entity means we have a division, weak entity, the attribute key, composite, multivalued, derived, and relationship means one to one, one to many, many to one, and many to many. What is an entity? Means it is an object. For example, a student is an entity and college is an entity. So how we say that it is an entity? It is given in a rectangle shape. So entity should be represented in a rectangle shape, and this student is studying in this college. So what is the alphabet M, and what is the one in that is given above the line? That is, many students study in one college. For example, in our CSEA, second year CSEA, 62 students are there, right? So those 62 students are studying in the same college, KRCT. So this is what many to one relationship. Many students are studying in a same college, that is many to one relationship. Weak entity. What is meant by weak entity? I told you entity means it is an object. So what is weak entity? Means the entity which belong which is dependent on another entity, that is called as weak entity. Bank account is a weak entity. Bank is an entity. So bank account, it purely depends or it relies on the bank. Without the bank, we cannot do anything with the bank account alone. So that is the weak entity. Okay. Then attributes, key attribute, composite, multi-valued, and derived attribute. What is meant by key attribute? Means it uniquely identify an entity. Okay, so entity means students. Student will be having these attributes, that is roll number, name, age, and address. So what could be the unique identity to that student? That is his roll number or register number. So that should be underlined. So by seeing that, we can say that it is a unique identity, unique attribute for a particular entity student. That is called as key attribute. What is called as composite attribute? One attribute, address is an attribute here, so that attribute holds many sub attributes. That is called as composite attribute. One or the combination of another attributes is called as composite attribute. For example, here address, student is having is holding attribute address. So in that address we'll have pin, state, country. So these are the sub attributes that can be associated with the attribute address. This is called as composite attribute. What is multi-valued and derived attribute? For example, a particular student is having one phone number. He is giving that phone number to the college, and another number he'll be having for personal reasons. So that is that can be quoted as an example for a multi-valued attribute. So one student is having 2 or 3 phone numbers, that is called as multi-valued attribute. Derived attribute means, for example, he has been born on the year 2000 means, now this is 2021, right? So I can derive that his age would be 21 years. Okay, so I am deriving his age from his date of birth. So that is the derived attribute. See, in this example, student is an entity that is represented in a rectangle, and the attributes could be student phone number, name, age, date of birth, and student ID. So student ID is underlined so that we can say that it is a key attribute. Okay, date of birth, from this date of birth we can derive the age of the student, that is given in a dashed ellipse. Okay, so this is a derived attribute. Then student name, and double ellipse is given for student phone number, which means he is having one or more phone numbers. So that is multi-valued attributes. Multi-value, from the name itself we can say multi-valued, many attributes, many values. The relationship, we have 4 types. One is one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, and many-to-many. So it is it can be represented as a diamond shape. Okay, so one-to-one means, what is the meaning? One entity, okay, it is having a relationship with another entity, only one entity. For example, a particular student is having only one register number. Okay, so register number is an entity and student is an entity, so it is having only one-to-one relationship. Here in this example, one person has only one passport, and that passport number cannot be used by another, so it is unique for them. Okay, so one person has one passport, one person has one license number, so that is called as one-to-one relationship. This person entity is having one-to-one relationship with the passport entity. One-to-many relationship. For example, we are going to a hotel and we are placing many orders. 1 dosa, 2 idlis, 1 rava dosa, like that we are placing many orders and we are finishing with a coffee. Okay, so that is called as one-to-many relationship. One customer is placing many orders. Okay, one customer is eating 1 dosa, and that customer is hungry, so that he is eating the next 2 idlis, 1 rava dosa, like this he is ordering. So he is ordering many food. Okay, so this is called as one-to-many relationship. One customer is placing many orders, that is one-to-many relationship. What about many-to-one? This we have already discussed in the entity itself. So many students are studying in a particular college, KRCT. So with we should write that M on the above line and one above to that line. Okay, so that shows what kind of relationship that this ER model is holding. Then many-to-many relationship. One student can be associated with many projects, and likewise many-to-many means many students will be associated with many projects, that is many-to-many relationship. So far we have discussed what is entity and what is a relationship. Entity means an object, and the relationship between a relationship means what relationship is existing between 2 or more entities, that is called as a relationship. Okay, so in entity will be represented in a rectangle, and entity will be holding some attributes. So the kinds of attributes we have seen: multi-valued attribute, derived attribute, composite attribute, key attribute. Key attribute means unique. Multi-valued composite attributes means sub attributes it will be holding. Multi-valued means one or more attributes, one or more values. Derived means from that date of birth we can derive his age. and relationship means one to one, one to many, many to one, and many to many. See, these four kinds of relationship we have discussed. So I hope that it is useful to you. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you, students.